Darren Copeland, who was working you said this is a speaker, yeah?
This speaker, it's called the Audio Spotlight. It's called the Audio Spotlight, and it was designed at MIT, a person from MIT who founded a company called Holosonic, and it's actually made for museums. They're mounted up in the air, and so that for the exhibit you have sound in a localized area, and but we thought that because it emits sound in such a small, confined area, like a spotlight or a flashlight, we thought it might be an interesting tool. This, because we're always as composers imagining, I want that sound to be like right there, and why not use something that'll put the sound right there?
So you're actually projecting the sound with this.
Yeah, all manual physical movement.
But there's sound coming out of a number of the speakers in here.
Yeah, those were controlled by Ben. So we had two layers of things happening.
Yes. Okay.
So there was he was moving sounds around, and then I was moving other sounds with this.
Okay.
So it wasn't just me.
But this specifically emits high frequencies in this piece?
Yeah, 800 hertz and higher.
Okay.
Basically, below 800 hertz is not that reliable, and it goes. But that's what we perceive. What it's actually coming off the loudspeaker is, I can't remember the values, but it's like about at least double our hearing.
Okay.
So ultrasonic.
Yeah, because I could feel really like these sort of moments where I was feeling lightheaded and
yes, and that's the experience of ultrasonic waves. So that's the one drawback. Was it uncomfortable?
Not terribly, but it was. There were some moments where I thought I would have preferred to have been sitting down. It didn't get.
Getting a little dizzy there.
Yeah.
Jet lag.
Just a little bit. Well, after all my travel, it doesn't help either. And so, what specifically was Ben using as material? He created all of the sounds that were projected off of these speakers, and that he projected.
He was using the spit system to move sounds around the 16-channel system that we had here. So I'm number 17.
Okay.
My strap has gotten worked itself in a funny place. What else to say? So we actually have another one of these at NAISA. We had some malfunction with the amplifier, but we were planning to actually have two people running these. So that's, but one worked fairly well, I think, in some ways. And at least it's certainly easier to follow what you're doing with one. But with two, you would probably get more power, maybe more complexity.
Okay. And with this and with the controller you were using earlier, they're really, really, really physical interfaces. I mean, is there a specific concern of yours, or is it just a result of the type of sensor?
It's probably my just nature, but part of it is also that I think that musicians are naturally expressive physically to generate the sound, and electroacoustics is often, in most cases, remove that. And I mean, there's some isolated examples where that's not the case, but it's nice to bring that back in, and especially with the Spotlight, it was very much the physical effort was very much just a part of it, managing your energy and physical energy the way a dancer would have to.
Yeah, but this is something that musicians aren't at all trained for.
No, but
it's something.
But when you play a wind instrument, you gotta breathe and you gotta.
Yeah, but it's also all upper body. It's all upper body in the training. This is the thing that's always sort of astounded me is that theater students will learn. They'll take voice lessons. They'll take a bit of dance. They learn how to use their body on stage. Dancers often have musicians, playing an accompaniment while they're working. They also take singing lessons, but musicians do not generally learn the other arts, aside from opera singers who are, learn a bit of drama and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's something that really should be
I think
the presence on stage, because even you're right about the physicality of the instrument, but very often there's not a physical presence on the stage of the musician.
That's true. Yeah, it's limited. But they do have the muscle control they have. Like for instance, the spit system, pianists do very well with it because the system is, you can do a lot with very limited, small movements. I mean, I have a certain physicality, and John had that, but other people do very nice work with very small movements, and their piano background, they already have the discipline of the arm and those muscles to do that, and that fine control. So the same with other violinists or something like that. There's a small micro movements that they've developed, or muscles, or dexterity, or whatever the word is, that are completely absent. And moving a fader is not really the same thing. I mean, it can have a physicality, but to some degree, but and there is a dexterity that goes with it, but it's not to the extent, I think, that with the spit system, it's very easy to destroy a piece. It's very easy to crash the plane, as it were, so same with violin. It's very easy to destroy the experience. So that tension isn't quite the same with fader diffusion. You can keep the faders up and the piece would still play, but if I didn't hold myself in a certain way, you wouldn't get it. Either the sound would drop at a really unacceptable level, or something being really messed up. So that tension and responsibility is, and having it theatrically noticed is interesting to me.
Well, let you
get
it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
What's that?